I don't want this to sound like a Seinfeld bit, but it sounds like a Seinfeld bit. I know if I was to open up a restaurant, I kind of know what I would want to do, and I want your legitimate take on it. I want to open up a restaurant that serves nothing but cold pizza. Go.
I think if you're...
You want to open up a pizza franchise.
Our American listeners or anybody outside Ontario won't understand that.
That's okay.
Unless your clientele is going to just be all like drunk, hungover dudes, then
I live in Vegas.